Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we are diving into some absolutely fascinating source material titled Die-Evolution, the 3D Technique. We're going to be exploring what is honestly a massive, mind-bending leap from traditional 3D rendering to a world where hyper-realistic video is just generated seamlessly by artificial intelligence. Now, if you've been following the digital creation space at all, you know how incredibly demanding 3D work has historically been, right? But the material we're unpacking today flips that entire concept completely on its head, and I'm so excited to walk through this massive shift with you.
So I really want you to just sit with this question for a second. What if your wildest imagination could be rendered in real time? Picture yourself right now, sitting in a sleek, super modern dark studio space. There's this incredibly detailed, subtle neon blue and magenta glow lighting up the room around you. It's a dramatic 8K resolution, hyper-realistic environment, and you are the digital artist right in the center of it. Historically, taking an idea from your head and putting it onto a screen meant huge teams, massive server farms, and literally months of waiting. But what if that translation happened in real time? What if the exact moment you imagined something, it just existed?
Okay, let's dive into exactly how this is happening. We're going to cover 5 key areas. 1. Real-time imagination. 2. The AI video breakthrough. 3. The evolution of 3D technology. 4. The creator's new power. And 5. The infinite generated future.
Starting right off with Phase 1, real-time imagination. Our source material leans heavily into vivid, sensory language to set the stage for this new era. It specifically describes this incredible dark studio lit up by neon blue and magenta. It highlights an atmosphere that is totally photorealistic with really dramatic lighting. And the reason this specific aesthetic matters so much is because it highlights the exact type of complex visual setup that used to take days to render. Back when your computer would sound like a jet engine preparing for takeoff just to render one frame. The source is establishing a baseline of extreme high fidelity here. We're talking 8K resolution, cinematic close-ups, subtle camera zooms. It's painting a picture of an environment where the technology is so advanced, it honestly feels like magic. This is the new atmosphere where the modern digital artist actually operates.
Moving right along to Phase 2, the AI video breakthrough.
Let's see how this actually builds into the creation process. According to the text, the new workflow is just incredibly fast. Step 1, you type a simple prompt, something crazy like a steampunk city in the clouds. And in the futuristic vision from our source, you're typing this on a holographic keyboard. Step 2, boom, an instantly generated, stunningly detailed video clip of that exact steampunk city just appears. There's no 3D modeling, no rigging characters, no spending hours tweaking manual lighting setups. It's just a perfectly smooth transition directly from a text prompt to a fully realized cinematic video clip in literally seconds.
And the source is very, very explicit about the pacing of this change. AI video generation isn't just making, small, incremental, step-by-step tweaks. It is evolving at an exponential rate. Every single week, the fidelity gets sharper, the generation times drop, and the complex mechanics of the real physical world get simulated more accurately. We are absolutely not looking at a minor software update here. We are looking at a massive vertical leap in what technology can do.
Which brings us to this absolutely beautiful quote directly from the source material. We are witnessing the dawn of a new creative era. And you know what I find absolutely fascinating about the materials we're analyzing today? The source text was provided identically in 2 totally different languages, English and Persian. It outlines the exact same visual cues, the exact same tech, and the exact same philosophical shift in both languages. That right there proves that this exponential evolution is a massive, barrier-breaking global phenomenon. The dawn of this new creative era is happening everywhere, for everyone, simultaneously.
All right, let's look at Phase 3, the evolution of 3D technology.
The text explicitly names 3 massive breakthrough models that are driving this evolution. You've probably heard of them: Veo, Runway Gen 3, and Sora. And guys, these aren't just trendy buzzwords. These are the actual engines that are taking simple text, raw images, and your basic ideas and turning them into cinematic masterpieces in seconds. These platforms represent the absolute pinnacle of current AI visualization. They're taking all the heavy lifting out of the hands of the 3D artists and offloading it onto vast, incredibly powerful computational systems.
So, to really understand why Veo, Runway Gen 3, and Sora are so revolutionary, we have to look at what they're actually doing behind the scenes. In the past, if you wanted realistic video, a human had to manually calculate or program complex physics.
You had to figure out exactly how volumetric lighting should bounce off every single surface and painstakingly keyframe every little natural camera motion. But according to our source, all of that agonizing, arduous computing is now being handled instantly by neural networks. These advanced systems process these glowing, futuristic digital network streams and transform them into vivid, full 3D video scenes with zero human intervention. And that brilliantly shows us the aesthetic standard we've suddenly reached. The source actually compares the output of these neural networks to Unreal Engine 5 style rendering. If you know anything about 3D tech, or even just play high-end modern video games, you know that means the absolute gold standard of real-time photorealism. We are talking about buttery smooth camera pans, realistic depth of field, perfect cinematic lens flares. The AI isn't just spitting out pixels, it actually understands 3D space, lighting, and camera optics natively. It's delivering a result that honestly looks like it was shot on a high-end cinematic camera on a multi-million-dollar Hollywood set.
Which brings us to Phase 4, the creator's new power. This perfectly contrasts the old reality with the new one we're stepping into. The old reality of video creation was totally defined by physical limits. You were held back by your budget, physical filming barriers, the weather, gravity, you name it. But in the new reality described in the text, the creator just smiles in their studio, and with a simple physical gesture, they can literally rearrange cinematic scenes in mid-air. The technology acts as a direct extension of what they want to do. The heavy, frustrating friction of traditional filming is just entirely bypassed. So the really crucial point here, and this is a line I absolutely love, is captured perfectly in this quote. The barrier between imagination and reality has vanished. Just think about how profound that actually is. The technical skill gap, the years and years spent learning how to light a scene, how to operate a massive rig, or how to code a 3D render, that's no longer a wall keeping people out. If you can imagine it, the neural networks can compute the physics and the lighting to just make it real. And because that barrier has vanished, the source comes to a pretty wild conclusion. Anyone with a story is now a Hollywood-level director. You literally have immense, unprecedented power right at your fingertips. The quality of your output isn't determined by the size of your production crew anymore. It's determined entirely by the quality of your ideas and the depth of your own imagination.
And finally, Phase 5, the infinite generated future.
Now, what's incredibly interesting about this contrast is how it fundamentally flips our basic definition of media. Think about it. For over a century, the word video implied something that was physically filmed. It meant capturing actual light bouncing off physical objects in the real world. But our source makes a definitive, bold statement. The future of video isn't being filmed, it is being generated. This is a complete fundamental paradigm shift from capturing reality to synthesizing it entirely from scratch. The text guides us right into this super futuristic setup. Just imagine a brilliantly clean, modern studio. On holographic screens hovering in front of you, there's a high-tech AI video timeline editor. Because the video is generated rather than filmed, you are no longer constrained by whatever footage you just happened to shoot on the day. You are working on a truly infinite canvas. You want to infinitely tweak a lens flare? Naturally shift the camera movement. Adjust the depth of field weeks after the fact. You can do all of it instantly through AI. And that brings us to the ultimate, powerful call to action from our source material: create the future now. It is literally a demand to stop waiting around. These tools, Sora, Veo, Gen 3, they are here today. The neural networks are ready and waiting to do all the insane physics and lighting calculations for you. The barrier is gone. The canvas is infinite. Which leaves us with one final, really important thought to reflect on today. We've seen how Die Evolution de 3D technique has moved us from manual, painstaking rendering to instant, real-time AI generation. We've seen how the old, clunky physical limits have been replaced by a system where your only real limit is your own creativity. The future of video isn't being filmed, guys, it's being generated. So, with this brand new, infinite canvas sitting right in front of you, what are you going to create? Thank you so much for hanging out with me for today's explainer. Keep exploring, keep imagining, and I will absolutely catch you next time.